after the Electoral Commission concluded a one-week voter exhibition exercise, the National Democratic Congress was up in arms. They insisted that the names of some voters had been transferred illegally and deliberately to favor the New Patriotic Party. In a Jumaku Enyan Esiam in the Central Region, the NDC alleged that the EC secretly transferred 3,000 plus voters into the constituency's voter register. Deputy Commissioner at the EC, Dr. Bosman Asari, says it was an honest mistake.
In the preparations towards the 2024 exhibition exercise, the absent voters list and the transferred voters list inadvertently included all transfers that had been done since 2020 when this register was first prepared. This has resulted in a higher than expected number of absent and transferred voters. This understandably may have caused some anxiety to our stakeholders, as exemplified by the press conference addressed by the NDC in the Ejumaku Enyan Esiam constituency of the Central Region. The Commission has corrected this anomaly and will share with all the political parties the corrected absent and transferred voters list.
In the Upper East Region, the Commission says it has suspended the Pusiga District Electoral Officer after concluding preliminary investigations into the alleged voter transfer.
The voters involved in the Tamale South and Sangneregu constituencies incident have denied taking part in a transfer exercise. What they have alluded to is that their voter ID cards were collected by one Haruna Muniru, ostensibly for the processing of a loan. Preliminary investigations by the Commission have revealed that voter transfers were indeed effected for 38 individuals, using the credentials of an Electoral Commission official. The Commission has suspended the Pusiga District Electoral Officer and has invited him to respond to the Commission's findings.
The Commission now says it has broadened its investigation to include all district electoral officers, fearing the issue may be widespread. They have also introduced fresh measures to ensure this does not happen again.
The Commission is currently investigating. While the Commission does not have any evidence to believe that this occurrence is widespread, we have instituted investigations to ascertain if similar incidents occurred elsewhere beyond the reported case in the Tamale South and Sagneregu constituencies. Any such transfers will be reversed. Following this incident, the Commission has introduced a liveliness check in the verification process, which is a feature designed to ensure that the biometric data being captured is from a live, present human being and not from a spoof source, such as photograph, which is what was done in this case. The liveliness check has since been built into the system to prevent any such future occurrence.
The Commission says, although the register is not foolproof, they insist that the voter register is credible and will always take steps to correct all anomalies. For Joy News, Michael Ashale.
Let's discuss this. The NDC is declaring some demands for, well, a forensic audit and a re-exhibition of the voter register, the provisional voter register, and they say these demands are non-negotiable. And as you just heard there, the Deputy Chairperson, Dr. Bosman Asari, saying that it was a mistake, and they've corrected it, they've suspended the official in charge, and they've invited the person to aid in the investigation to see the extent to which this errors occurred. In the studio with me this morning is Mustafa Bande, the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC. Mustafa Bande, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
So a few months to elections. How's the NDC doing? How are you preparing?
NDC is very prepared to save the people of Ghana.
Save the people of Ghana?
Yeah.
Because we need saving.
The victory of the NDC come December 7th is a redemption of the people of Ghana. As for the first time again, all of us coming to the table, reasoning to deal with the Ghanaian problem. First time again, having a certain crop of leadership that would think with the ordinary Ghanaian about how to put food on the table, how to put a smile in the lives of Ghanaian citizens. So far, The people in power are enemies of the state. They have destroyed, they've stolen more than they need. They have also refused to build to replace what they have stolen.
That's why you need a reset.
That is
That's
why
you think
we don't just need a reset. We need to remove them from power, and we need to recover what has been taken illegally.
Okay, so let's discuss your demands and the response. You had there Dr. Bosman Asare saying that it was an honest mistake. The person has been invited for questioning to respond to and help them actually to investigate to see what else is amiss. And he has been suspended. How do you respond to the EC's response to your concerns and subsequently this thing turning out to be true because you first brought it to the awareness of the public?
Well, a very good morning to the commissioners of the Electoral Commission. I think it's very laughable when they come to a table of reasoning, intellectual prudency, with such deficiency of logic that, but for the NDC, okay, you wouldn't have even been aware that people's names have been deleted, let alone for us to get to the conversation of an honest mistake.
Is that what you're calling deficiency of logic?
We'll get there. 2, we raised and requisitioned for an IPAC, emergency IPAC meeting, in accordance of rights as members of IPAC, for us to discuss fundamental, inaccuracies and discrepancies that we have identified with the Commission. In the first place, the NDC didn't go to the public to discuss the substance of the reasons that we are calling for an emergency IPAC. Now, in the instance where we all sit in a room to discuss matters, MPP, other political parties, you would have waited for us to come so that we'll give you further and better particulars. The Electoral Commission's response to the NDC was that, oh, no, we are just being alarmist, and that the provisional voters register was provisional and that there could be errors. The errors we have identified came as a result of vigorous analysis of what document the Electoral Commission have provided and sought to call it as a provisional voters register. The document they have...
Hold on 1 second. We had Dr. Bosman Asare here in that special edition, the build-up, 99 days to elections.
Yes.
And he's told us that the very reason why you exhibit this provisional register is so that these errors can come to light, so that they can take steps like they're taking now to ensure that the right things are done.
They are classified, protected, and orchestrated fraudulent manipulation of the register, deliberately orchestrated by the Electoral Commission. Bosman Asare, to the best of my knowledge, and I don't want to get into his personality this morning, let us face the issues. The issues are that when you report a matter to the police can know if the person have taken it or not. But of course, the process says, get a complainant, get a witness, take it through a process. Why is the Electoral Commission running when nobody is chasing the commission? And you have admitted that so far, because of our alarmist behavior, you have identified what you call an honest mistake. But yet, you call that register robust. Does it not defeat logic? It defeats logic. The document as it stands, being called a register, is a paper printed with manipulated figures. And let me tell you, who would have thought that in all of this, okay, the MPP would join us to call for a transparent, a credible voters register. It may favor them. It may favor us. But the silence of the MPP is louder than their accomplice in the act.
You cannot call these an accomplice to the...
For any serious political party headed into an election, confident of winning that election, will be interested in what, how the voters register is compiled.
Okay.
So for these heinous, deliberate, fraudulent, intentional manipulations to occur, and the MPP is quiet, 2 weeks, just tells you that the Electoral Commission today is a very dangerous institution.
I don't think they're quiet. Again, Haruna Mohammed was here with us, and he was saying, in fact, he was quoting some allies and CIs for us. He joins us actually on phone. So let me put this to him. So Haruna, when you joined us earlier for that conversation in the build-up 100 days to election, and the issue of that voter transfer to Pusiga came up, you mentioned that it cannot be a deliberate attempt to move voters from one place to the other. And even if that has happened, it cannot be something that the EC would condone. Now the EC is saying that indeed these voters have been transferred. It was an honest mistake. The person has been suspended and invited to aid in investigation. How do you respond to these new pieces of information coming to light? Haruna, you have to unmute so we can hear you.
I have to unmute you. I've not muted you.
Okay.
I hope you can hear me now.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. Good morning to your Charles US, and then good morning to my brother, Mustafa. I know today he has a seat, and he's enjoying the space. Remember, I'll come back. The space cannot be for you alone, sitting in the studio. Yes, the last time we had a discussion on that particular matter, I did inform you that there were laws that governs registration and voting processes in Ghana, i.e. in CI 91 and CI 127. When this was reported, I said that the Electoral Commission is a human institution. There are always a process of how we do this in terms of voter transfer. I quoted a portion that talked about how the voter transfer is being started and how it has to also be ended. So if there was that accusation, I pointed to that particular process. And mind you, yesterday, the Electoral Commission did not just say that this has actually been occasioned by one or two or this particular reason, but they went ahead to suspend the officer for investigation. It means that the Electoral Commission wants to get to know what actually occasioned the happening or the transfer that has been reported. So it was not a confirmation of exactly what happened, but the Electoral Commission to be given the opportunity to investigate why it happened and who occasioned this particular thing happening, and whether even it has happened on the basis of the report that they are talking about. So
from your side, you have no concerns at all that, I mean, you are satisfied with the, first of all, the confirmation that some voters were transferred and what the EC is doing about it. One, suspending the official in question and inviting for to aid investigation, even on the back of the demands that the NDC are making for a forensic audit and a re-exhibition of the voter exhibition. Yeah.
Yes, even in the media cycle, when you have the opportunity to ask questions, when somebody asks a question that you want to ask, you don't ask it again. So we are concerned if these are the things that is happening and they are raising it and investigations are being done. It's not everything that every political party comes out to talk about. So if they have brought the issue and the Electoral Commission is investigating it, we are very much concerned about the outcome that will be coming out from the Electoral Commission's investigation. Remember, during the registration process, a number of things happened in Pusiga, even up to the point that one of the temporal officers has to be removed. You remember? So we are very much concerned. All these matters are things that we have aggregated, and we are following them one after the other. We have had concerns that we have to write and then complain, and that has been the process. So, and right from listening, I told you that we have done a number of things, either by publicly or by writing, without coming out to discuss those particular matters.
Right. Haruna, I have to interject at this point. So, Mr. Gwande was just saying that your silence is very loud, and you're saying that you are concerned. How concerned are you about the demands of the NDC, and why aren't we hearing you and these concerns coming up from the camp of the NPP?
We are not in competition with the NDC to be loud. They can decide to be loud. We can decide to do the things as the procedures demand. When we were talking about overvoting and polling stations without serial numbers, they were quiet. Was that an admission that they created them? Was it? When we have been raising issues about electoral reforms and they were quiet, were they comfortable with the old system? He knows. He goes to IPAC. Most of the time when he goes, I am not there. But Obiamwa, they've been there. Obiamwa will raise issues before issues. And the forum to raise issues for corrective measures to be done is an inter-party advisory committee. And the MPP always make our point at IPAC. It is not just a matter of amplifying the volume outside.
Okay.
Making sure that the essence of what you are saying directly goes to the people. If you can even say it on radio or TV, and the Electoral Commission will say that they have not received any official complaint.
Okay.
But we have done so on several occasions.
Okay.
And I have always said, things that they make noise, I tell you that they are making noise about it. And none of the issues that I have said NDC have made noise about them was discussed at yesterday's press conference.
So, Haruna, my question to you then is, are you backing the cause for a thorough investigation that a forensic audit to detect any discrepancies, to ensure that all the wrongs are righted and perpetrators brought to book?
That will lead to an election that will be free, that will be fair, and that will be credible. The MPP is for it.
Let's make it very simple. Are you backing the call of the NDC for a forensic audit and a re-exhibition of the provisional voter register? Are you backing that call?
I have not heard your question.
I'm asking that the NDC are demanding a forensic audit into this voter register, and they're also asking that it be re-exhibited. Are you backing that call?
We are not in a debate as to somebody raising an issue and somebody is backing an issue. They have a legitimate reason to raise any issue, and whatever they raise in respect to an audit or whatever, that will inure to the benefit of securing a free and fair election. It's in the right direction. But it is not for them to raise.
Is that not in the interest of the free and fair election, Haruna? Is this forensic audit and a re-exhibition
not to say that we back them and that is what will make it free and fair.
All right. Hold
it's
for
not
me.
To say that, we back what they are saying, that will make it free and fair. The actions that the Electoral Commission will take to do the audit and let it be free and fair is what will make it. But not us saying that we are backing what we are backing what they are saying.
So you are not backing the NDC, right?
To have a clean and then free and fair elections, the MPP is all for it.
So Haruna, do you want the EC to conduct a forensic audit into the provisional voter register and re-exhibit the register for the voting population to confirm?
Any call that will make sure that the writing is done, the register is clean, the register is what is up, that will inure to a free and fair election, the MPP is for it.
Thank you.
The answer you are looking from me, I don't think, Sweetie, you get it, because I am not...
Haruna, hold for me for a second.
So I'm just telling you, you can't get that direct answer from me. I'll give you a response that will fit to a free and fair election.
Thank you, Haruna. Don't go away for a second. Monday.
The MPP's silence only...
To be fair, they're not silent.
No,
they say anything that the EC would do to ensure that the elections are free and fair.
They are very disingenuous when it comes to these discussions. And I must say that we have various stakeholders in elections management. The ordinary Ghanaian voter is a stakeholder, right? The people of Ghana are saying that it's strange that I've registered my name to vote only for you to call for exhibition. I get to an exhibition center, and my name has been transferred to another region. Now, if you check the percentage of turnout for the exhibition exercise, which is very low, the propensity that a lot of people have also lost their data without, all of us knowing is very high. Haruna agrees that there was some wrongdoing. And it is wrong for Bosman Asare to call it
a mistake.
No, he names it some way. He says an honest mistake. It's a dishonest, incompetent mistake. It means that you and I, our data available to the EC is not secure. Someone else may be assessing it for uses beyond elections. If an officer in Pusiga can sit down and transfer data from Tamale South, from Central Region, it means that it's a grand fraudulent scheme. And there are actors within the Electoral Commission who are aiding these schemes at the blind side of all of us. And the MPP is quiet. And the MPP says that we won't back the NDC's call. But again, we are for anything that will aid transparent election. We are backing the MPP's call for transparent processes. We are going to back Haruna's conversation this morning that let us all get the Electoral Commission to do what to give us a credible, transparent, free and fair election. And as it stands, what they call provisional voters register is not qualified to be called a register. It is a manipulated document, miscalculated document, mixed figures. Today, as we speak, the Electoral Commission have not been able to tell you and I how many people are potentially going to vote in 2024.
Oh, they did. They told
the Electoral Commission have not been able to tell you.
Dr. Siribo Kweku told us. We had that conversation. It was some, I don't have it off the top of my head, but he gave us. We computed it, in fact, here, provisional.
Yeah. Okay. Has the Electoral Commission been able to tell you the number of people who have registered in the last ended limited registration exercise?
Okay, but hold for me for a second. We have Dr. John Osai-Kwapon joining us via Zoom, and he's a member of the Center for Democratic Development. Doc, thank you so much for joining the conversation. How would you assess the EC's response to these errors so far? What do you make of the whole issue? Yeah,
good morning. We've had a number of conversations about the critical role of the EC in this election. The fact that the EC is going into this election not enjoying very high perceptions among Ghanaians. If you look at the Afrobarometer survey, trust in the EC is at its lowest in the history of the Afrobarometer survey. So within that context, I've regularly written and I've regularly said that the last thing the EC wants to do is to give any of the stakeholders in this election another reason to have doubts, another reason to start wondering whether the processes, are transparent, are free, and that we can be guaranteed of an incident-free election in December, that everyone would walk away on December 7th feeling that, the processes are going to guarantee a free and fair election. And so when you hear of news that you have an officer, yes, it may be one officer who has illegally transferred someone's registration from one place to another, right? Even though it could be just one incident, or it could be just that one officer, but you can just imagine what that does, right? It fuels a lot of questions, it raises a lot of issues, and then it goes back to undermining the trust and the confidence that Ghanaians have. Yes, I'm glad that that officer has been suspended, but again, there are some luxuries that the EC cannot afford in this election, given how it is already been perceived.
Doc, does this honest mistake that Dr. Bosman Asare posted, does it fall under some of these luxuries that the EC cannot afford at this time in the build-up to election 2024?
Yes, no system is perfect, no individuals are perfect. But under such circumstances, no one makes the distinction between an honest and a dishonest mistake. And I think that is what I'm hoping that the EC will be very, sensitive to and cognizant of, so that they make sure that they try their very, very, very best not to give anyone any reason to have doubt. Yes, their response was very swift in dealing with the officer. Dr. Bosman Asare was on the show, I think it was last Thursday or so. talking about all the things that will happen as they note some of these challenges during the exhibition period. And then those things will be fixed. Yes, I like the assurance, but there's no room for an honest or quote unquote a dishonest mistake at this point.
Doug, the NDC is asking for a forensic audit into this register, provisional register, as well as a re-exhibition of it. Good call?
Yes, especially if some of these issues, challenges that have emerged, right? And you want to make sure that everybody, who wants the opportunity to ensure that their name is in the right place at the right polling station. Yes, then I see no reason why you cannot reopen the exhibition period just to make sure that there are no issues or no challenges come election day for everyone.
Okay, let me go back to Haruna. Haruna, just a quick follow-up to the questions I was asking. So what if we invited an external party to conduct this audit or investigate thoroughly the provisional register? Would that be something that the NDC would be happy about?
If you can come again, I can't hear the question.
I'm asking if the MPP would agree to an external audit of the voter register, not internally from the EC, but invite an external person to come and thoroughly investigate this provisional register before the elections are conducted.
I don't know the extent of which. There are laws governing this particular exercise. There are CIs that is governing this particular exercise. So if it's not in conformity with the CI, I might not be able to just confirm that this should be done. Anything that has to be done in conformity with the law.
Okay.
And this can always be discussed at IPAC and agree. When matters are agreed at IPAC, and then political parties agree to the procedural issues will come up, how it's going to be done, we can always participate in the process, but not to take up the process to execute as political parties. I believe that these are some of the genuine concerns that we have to discuss at IPAC and have a consensus on it, because we are all for anything credible that is going to make sure that this election free, fair, and then the winner will be clean. And we are very confident that we don't need the Electoral Commission for victory. We don't need the Electoral Commission. We only need free and fair process to win these elections.
Okay, thank you. But don't go away. Dr. Nyawo Tamako has been saying some things. But before we go and take that sound and discuss, Monday, are you looking for an external audit or an internal one?
We have, as part of the application that we've made for an emergency meeting, and the NDC have always been fair, let me put it on record. We even take on fights that covers our brothers, the MPP. One, the NDC believes that we don't want to go into an election that is not transparent with other competitors that we have. Two, our democracy have outgrown this opaque and archaic style of politics where political parties stage rigging of election. Let us try to take ourselves out of the appetite of stealing. Now, we have called for IPAC so that both the NDC and the MPP, who are major stakeholders, can have a fair conversation as far as some of the issues are concerned. Look, beyond even issues of illegal transfer, do you know that there are even issues of data availability?
Yeah.
Where we believe that some Ghanaians are complaining that the flag bearer of the MPP is possessing people's data available to the Electoral Commission. How possible is it that as soon as you have registered as a voter, the flag bearer of the MPP sends you a message, tells you which constituency you belong to, tells you who is your parliamentary candidate? All of these borders on credibility of your information available to the Electoral Commission beyond election.
Okay.
So therefore, when you look at these germane issues, very serious issues, very fundamental issues, then we'll be having a discussion to select or to agree with an auditor who has credibility to be able to ensure that credibility prevails.
How confident? You sound like you have no confidence in the EC at all.
Hey!
Do you, on a scale of 1 to 10,
the current,
what's the confidence level in the
current electoral commission, quite apart from the fact that some of them are political affiliates, have demonstrated dangerous incompetence. Dangerous incompetence.
Put a figure to it for me.
Their incompetence can undermine the democracy of this country.
So on a scale of 1 to 10. Their incompetence
can take away lives.
We have to go for that sound. On a scale of 1 to 10.
I cannot rate them because it's beyond what I can rate. Look, if you trust the Electoral Commission on incompetence, then what are you trusting? I can only trust you because you are competent. I can only trust you because you are working with the rules. Right. This is an Electoral Commission that sits at headquarters. People enter its offices, steal devices, and they say they are not aware. This is a commission that sits down. Its officer transfer data, information, and they said they are not aware.
Okay,
and that we call that an honest mistake.
Now, Tamaklo is saying that the EC is the greatest threat to Ghana's democracy. Let's listen to what he said, and then we'll discuss.
At the moment, the greatest threat to our democracy is the Electoral Commission. That is the greatest threat to our democracy. And if we are not careful, they will lead this country into destruction. Mark my words. Why do I say so? How on earth can transfers be made from one particular constituency to another without the consent of the person? These are facts.
So there you have it. Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo is also saying that it's...
How excited the audience were. All Ghanaians, majority of Ghanaians believe that this Electoral Commission is taking all of us to war. The Electoral Commission is taking us into a conflict, a war.
Right.
A war that will undermine the peace and stability of this country.
Mande, hold for me. I want to go to Haruna for his response on what Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo has been saying. And he's one of the founding members of the New Patriotic Party. Haruna,
he's not a founding member.
What do you make of what he said in regards to this issue we are discussing and the votes transfer?
For a correction, Nyaho Tamaklo is a suspended member of our party by the Greater Accra some time back. And he has been a suspended member up to date. I'm not surprised that Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo will come out with this particular statement, just as he's describing the Electoral Commission as being one of the dangerous. He's another part of one of the dangerous persons in multi-party democracy who easily does not understand how processes goes and run committees.
But Haruna, the focus is not on his persona, his personality. What he is saying is that...
That's right. Not for you.
He's not an institution.
Haruna must apologize. Please, you must get Haruna to apologize.
Bande, hold for me.
You can't make these references to somebody who is old enough to be your friend. The name calling cannot continue. The disrespect cannot continue by the MPP.
Please, just a second. So, Haruna, what I'm saying to you is that this man, whether or not he's a suspended member, we know for a fact that he had something to do in the formation or, the successes of the New Patriotic Party. And he's saying that, or he's warning that if care is not taken, the EC could plunge the country into some danger. I'm asking you, what do you make of...
I'm saying that he's one of those persons in Ghana who are also threats to multi-party democracy.
And what facts do you have to back that? Because he spoke based on the fact that... Yes, he spoke about the voter transfer to Pusiga. He's alluding to that. He's saying that that's a very dangerous thing to do. So what facts do you have to say that he's part of the danger?
He's talking about an issue that is under investigation. And you yourself, he, Mustafa, sitting there, knows that the process of transferring those particular votes, if it is true, they're not occasioned by the Electoral Commission. It's a fact.
This is incompetence. Again,
The
ignorance.
process of transferring
Who is keeping the data? Who is keeping the data?
Another electoral area.
Who is keeping the data?
All right.
Mohammed doesn't understand elections.
Haruna, it appears
He's not on top of the issues. Who is keeping the data?
Monday, I'll come to you in 1 second, okay?
Mustafa, I have run these things far and long.
You are displaying ignorance. Who is keeping the data?
Coalition, electoral process as far back as 2004.
Student election, but this is national election.
Yes. In terms of
this is national election. Who is keeping the data? Why do you say the electoral commission?
Okay, gentlemen, hold for me. Doctor, let me go to Dr. John Osai Kwapong.
No, you don't.
Haruna, hold on, please.
I'm telling you this. I'm telling you for a fact. Go and check then in Zabzugu Tatali. You come from Tatali. Go and check.
You don't understand elections.
Go and check. My contribution to electoral processes.
Dr. John Osai Kwapong, let me bring you in at this point. So, Haruna, you have to mute for me for a second.
Challenge me about election process.
All right, Dr. John Osai Kwapong, this is what Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo is saying. We can't seem to find any response from the NPP on that regard. But what do you make of it? And then how do we fix this issue going forward?
I would go as far as saying that the EC is the greatest threat to Ghana's democracy. There are quite a number of challenges that Ghana's democracy faces, not just from the EC, from institutions and other ways in which our democracy is practiced. So I won't stretch it that far. But yes, I do agree that the EC has a very critical role to play in ensuring a free and fair election. And a free and fair election is not just what happens on election day. It's all the things in between now and that election day, right? Which is why, for me, even if, the EC wants to describe this as an honest mistake, you want to hope that it's not a pattern of behavior, it's not something that is occurring in other EC offices. No officers are engaged in any sort of untoward behavior, etc., because again, all of those things would undermine the confidence that not just the political parties, but citizens have, in the process as we prepare for this very crucial election. The EC has work to do, and it has to make sure that it is 10 steps ahead in ensuring that the lost confidence does not further deteriorate. For me, that is the issue confronting the EC now.
Okay, let me put a pin in that conversation. Now, Haruna, it appears there's something happening. We have 3 New Patriotic Party members of parliament and former members of parliament who are, going independent. We can talk about Cynthia Morrison. Then there's the Suhum, member of parliament for Suhum, also declaring independence, as well as the former Ladade Kotopong MP, Vincent Soa Odotoye, also going independent. Are you concerned? And what do you think accounts for these, should I call it a desertion of the party? What's happening there?
This is something we are also hearing from the media, which has not been confirmed because, as you said, we don't have an independent candidate as of now. Nobody has picked forms and nobody has filed in terms of submission and to be confirmed as an independent candidate. We've heard so from the media. The party leadership is following all this particular conversation, and when the time is due, the party will speak appropriately on them.
Thank you. Bande, is the NDC concerned or are you excited? How do you feel about these members of the New Patriotic Party leaving to go and contest as independent candidates? Let's move away from the issue of the EC and talk about this.
Haruna is not being factual. If you look at the intricacies of all the issues leading to MPP people protesting to go on independent, it's as a result of electoral malpractice. In Walewale, the same thing. In Yendi, the same thing. So when you use force, okay, to downplay somebody's potentiality to win an election, the person deflects. They did the same thing to Canada, Japan. They tried to do the same thing to Alan Kojo Chirmantin. And the MPP have become they've developed a strong appetite for what you may not directly call stealing, but rigging, compromising processes. They don't play fair. They don't want to play fair. They don't understand what fairness is. So this is what will happen to their own political party. How can you be a deputy general secretary and say that you are not aware that somebody is going on independent? Have anybody feel, picked a have MPP parliamentary candidates picked a You don't even have MPP candidates. They are all candidates at this moment. We don't have somebody that are fine.
Right.
How can you say you are not aware?
So as we speak,
Walewale have been nullified. Walewale have been nullified. Yendi same. Yendi same. Walewale.
Let him respond. I'll come back to you.
Electoral malpractice.
Haruna, what are you saying?
Please, Sweetie.
Yeah.
Please, correct my brother. Correct him for me. There is no candidate for now. He knows it.
But how do you say we don't have independent candidates? How did you know that we don't have an independent candidate?
I did not say I don't know.
If they picked up forms, Haruna, if they picked up forms to contest
about rumors. General Secretary speaks on facts. General Secretaries don't speak on rumors. General Secretaries quote the rumor, but speak to the facts. And the fact is that we have not had any official that this person has filed as independent. And I have also said, we've heard these discussions in the media, and the national party...
Did you say they have filed? Did you say they have filed? She didn't say they have filed.
Communicate when the
Who is he listening to and who is he talking to?
What amounts to the fact that I said I don't know. Then second, let me tell you, Cynthia Morrison became third in the contest of the election. Suhum MP lost the election by vote difference of 179. So it is not that they have not been given fair contest. They contested and lost the election. And that is the case. So if this is what, the same thing that is happening now, it's happening in the NDC. There are several people who also want to go independent.
Where?
So, and these are matters that the party leadership at various levels are interrogating and making sure that we are working through to get to the bottom of this matter. At the right time that the party will speak, the party will speak.
Okay, so I want your quick reaction on this. So nominations have been open for the NPP Walewale parliamentary primary to be rerun, right? That is between Dr. Kabiru and Lariba Zura Abudu.
Today. Yes. In fact, that is why I am on my way.
And that's because of the irregularities and the misrepresentation and all that. So what's your reaction on all of that? And this is solely from your camp.
I've not heard the question.
Fraudulent elections.
Okay, I'm looking for, Monday, please. I'm looking for your reaction to the rerun of the parliamentary primary between Dr. Kabiru and Lariba Zura Abudu. And this is happening because of the irregularities that were found in that particular election.
Yes, the party was a party to the suit when the matter went to court. The party has made several attempts, including taking it out for arbitration. It has to go back to court. The court passed its judgment yesterday. As a proactive general secretary, he brought out the timelines because of the exigencies of time and the circumstances at this particular moment. Even though today we have a National Executive Committee meeting, I have been dispatched. I'm in Tamale now. I'm proceeding to Walewale to make sure that the forms is available for all those who will be picking. The NDC is a national party. It's a party that believes in the rule of law. The court has spoken. And today, the National Executive next will meet to discuss the judgment of the court. And then we are abiding by the judgment. We are not going to discuss issues that emanated from the judgment. But we take the judgment and we are going to abide by and make sure that we run through this particular process.
Thank you, Haruna. Monday, it's your take now. Let's make it as brief as possible.
You know, the MPP has become a laughingstock, both in terms of credibility, in terms of competence and good faith. But I do say that, my sister, our call for a transparent election shows our commitment to save this country. And let me remind the MPP, we can also stage rigging of elections. We can do worse than they can do. But we don't want it because the outcome will not be a good one. And so let us all ensure that we help. It's clear that the Electoral Commission and its commissioners are incompetent. It's very clear. But beyond the incompetence, there are actors within the Electoral Commission who must be fished out because they are dangerous actors. See, the Electoral Commission must take responsibility of what even its temporal officers does. Temporal officers. And so they owe to themselves a duty to ensure scrutiny of the kind of people they employ to the commission. So if you go and take a returning officer who is an NDC person or who is an MPP person or exposed person, and the person does something wrong, you must take responsibility. They should not sit at headquarters and pretend not to know where their responsibility ends. So we are pleading. We will continue to make this plea. We are waiting for SIT. We'll go and present further and better particular. But for the purposes of carrying the audience along, we are calling for the Electoral Commission to do good to Ghanaians by allowing for an audit. Because what we have right now is a manipulated document full of errors, errors that are not honest, errors that are fraudulent, deliberately orchestrated. Let us make sure we audit to have a clean process. 2, as it stands today, the Electoral Commission cannot hold a transparent and a credible election because its voters register is not transparent. And so we must get to a point where at least we go into an election where each party is clear in their mind that we are going into an election and not a rigged or flawed election. Because the NDC, and let me repeat, nobody will emerge as president or government in this country as a result of a rigged, compromised, or flawed electoral process.
And I'm saying that's why you have IPAC, you have these meetings,
the MPP
and then
is
you have
away.
these demands
the
that
MPP is
you are
quiet.
calling
You just heard Mohammed, you just heard the unpreparedness of the MPP to join the communication.
Let's let it unfold, and then we probe as we go. Okay, Dr. John Osai Kwapong. Yes, Haruna, briefly, please. Yeah.
We have ever had a president by error in this country. In 2012, all the errors that emanated from the elections that we went to court.
We'll not have it again.
Choose John Dramani Mahama as president.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true.
My brother, please.
That's
okay,
not true.
so
that is not
just like you said, you were not going to comment on an active investigation. That was also something that went to the court, and the judiciary decided.
That's not true. That's not true.
Haruna,
That is why.
Monday, we didn't interrupt you, so let's.
He's lying.
You had your time.
President Akufo-Addo is a president who is in power right now.
Monday,
8 people have died.
If we don't listen to him, we won't get what he said.
Let him not lie. He's lying. You are lying.
Okay, please mute Haruna. So let me go to Dr. John Osai Kwapong.
How can you sit on Zoom and lie?
You have
a president that was elected through error.
While we have a president,
Monday, you're not being fair. You're not being fair. We listened to you and interrupted.
Well, how do you refer to a president
so let's listen to him.
Error president when we have one whose hands is soiled with blood, innocent?
Dr. John Osai Kwapong, I'll give you the final word.
Well, again, for me, it is really incumbent upon the EC to do everything in its power to ensure that nobody has reason to question whether it is ready to guarantee us a free and fair election. And so how it swiftly responds to issues, how it responds to the concerns raised by the political parties, whether it's the MPP, whether it's the NDC, I hope everything is hashed out to everyone's satisfaction, because at the end of the day, that is what we all want, a free and fair and credible election.
Right. Doc, let's pivot to corruption. We are done with the Electoral Commission. Let's talk about corruption.